The devil is mad because your baby didn't die. You may find your seats. People of God, in this hour, you have got to beware of the tricks and assignments of Satan. Because what I have come to understand is that the devil comes for three purposes: to kill, steal, and destroy. And if he has figured out that he can't kill you, he'll try to certainly steal what's yours in order that he may destroy you in the process. And be mindful now, because he has strategically assigned individuals to do his bidding. What God has birthed inside of you, you must hold fast to it, because the devil desires to steal your baby. I'm speaking figuratively when I speak of the term baby, of the gifts, purposes, dreams, visions, and even hidden desires inside of you. Whether male or female, you have got to keep your purpose in prayer, because the devil is mad because your baby refuses to die. Tonight I want to talk about the baby inside of you. What you've got to understand is that the enemy's objective is to stop what God has placed in your life and in your spirit. Every battle that you're going through, every fight that you will ever have to fight, is only because the devil's whole objectivity is to stop what God has called you unto. And one of the things that I found is that the devil doesn't mess with folks who don't have a purpose in the first place. He don't mess with folks who are ready to give birth. He doesn't mess with folks who knows who they are in God but decides they're going to just back off. But he messes with folks who refuses to die in the midst of battle, who says to themselves, either I'm going to live free or I'm going to die hard. He battles with folks who said, listen, what killed somebody else gave me victory. He messes with folks who know what it is to take a licking but keep on ticking. He knows that his time is short, and so therefore his whole goal is to snatch what God has placed in your spirit. And so what he does is he comes at you, and if he cannot get you or attack you physically, I find that what he is doing now in the body of Christ is that he is attacking the mind of the believer. He wants you to believe that he made a mistake. God made a mistake when he chose you. He wants you to believe that perhaps you made a mistake when you said that God had called you. He wants you to believe that because you've made some mistakes in your past, and some of you, if to tell you the truth, are making some mistakes right now, he wants you to believe that you have forfeited what God has placed in you. But what he doesn't realize is that when God places purpose in your life, it doesn't matter what state you're in, it doesn't matter what you've done. There's a spiritual placenta down in the spirit, in the city of your soul, that safeguards that which he has placed inside of you. I wish I had somebody in here that would just touch their womb, whether you're male or female, and say, you ain't gonna die, baby, you ain't gonna die. I want to talk about these two women that have come to Solomon. You've got to understand what kind of state Solomon was in before they came. It is here after Solomon makes one of his many mistakes as king by marrying the daughter of Pharaoh, predecessor of Shishak, who invades Judah some 40 years later, in order to bring political alliance between Israel and Egypt. Solomon knew it wasn't of God, but he thought that if he married her, it would bring some sort of political peace to the people and to the country in which he served. Solomon already had developed an alliance with the king of Tyre, which Tyre in Egypt was Solomon's two most powerful neighbors. And according to Exodus 34 and 16 and Deuteronomy 7 and 3, he'd already broken the law which forbade against him making such alliances and intermarriages within foreign alliances, lest they may turn the hearts of an already unstable Israel away from God Jehovah to serve other pagan gods. But Solomon, in spite of his mistakes, he loved God. But he sacrificed and burnt incense in high places. Yes, he burnt incense in high places to God on pagan altars that God had ordered in Deuteronomy 12 and 2 to be destroyed. The sacrifices of Israel were to be offered at the door of the tabernacle, God said in Leviticus 17 verse 3 and 5. And although the tabernacle, the tent, was in Gibeon, one day Solomon decided that he would offer 1,000 offerings to the Lord right there at Gibeon. And that night when he fell asleep, the Bible declares that God appeared to Solomon in a dream and said to Solomon, Solomon, ask what I shall give thee. And it is here that Solomon develops his name as the wisest man who lived. It is here, after all of his bad choices and decisions with foreign alliances and beautiful paganistic women, that God bestows on a man of many mistakes wisdom like no other. And so now here in 1 Kings 3 verse 16, Solomon has his first assignment. And the first assignment that he has is, the Bible declares that two women came to him that were harlots. Now, I need you to look at the text, my dear sisters and brothers, because the word harlot here is not the same harlot that we understand it to be as a paid prostitute. But in fact, it is a Hebrew word that means unfaithful. Comes from the Hebrew word zena, not porne in the Greek, meaning for sexual services. But these were women who were waiting on somebody to come into their lives because they felt abandoned. They felt like rejects. They felt they had nothing that showed promise for their lives. So these two women lived together in hopes that maybe some man, whether he was unmarried, whether he was married, would come along and give them promise, because as long as there is seed, there is promise. And some of us, when we look at the text, we can find ourselves in this verse. A lot of us are just waiting on something. We don't quite know what it is. We just know that we're waiting on God to do something. And some of us are so desperate for the move of God. Some of us are so desperate for the manifestation of God's will to be done in our lives. We're so tired of hearing about it, and we're so tired of being prophesied to about it, and we're so tired of being laid hands on about it. We need God to do something. And sometimes some of us get to the place that we make up in our mind, by any means necessary, I'm gonna get what God promised me. I wish somebody in here would help me. Look at somebody and tell them, if I got to get it by default, I'm gonna get it. I may not have done everything perfect, but I'm gonna get it. And so these two women, they realized that they had no husbands. No. They were not paid prostitutes. How do we know that they're not paid prostitutes? Because paid prostitutes are two ways. A paid prostitute would never allow herself to become pregnant because pregnancy is not good for business. I wish I had somebody in here to help me. Pregnancy is a liability, and you got a lot of